It was supposed to be an ordinary day for Mia, a bright and confident high school student known for her kindness and love for fashion. But everything changed during lunch break when a group of classmates decided to turn her world upside down. As she walked through the courtyard in her favorite yellow dress, their whispers turned into laughter. Before she knew it, they surrounded her, their words sharp and cruel. Then, with one hateful act, they tore her dress, leaving her humiliated and exposed. The group burst into laughter, thinking they'd crushed her spirit, but Mia was stronger than they realized. As she stood there, holding her torn dress, she made a decision that would change everything. Instead of lashing out, she chose to rise above their hate in a way no one saw coming. What happened next left the entire school speechless and taught those bullies a lesson they would never forget. Stay tuned to see how Mia turned heartbreak into power. Mia stood frozen for a moment, her heart racing as the laughter echoed around her. She could feel the eyes of her classmates on her, some filled with pity, others avoiding her gaze altogether. The bullies, led by Claire, a girl known for her sharp tongue and arrogance, seemed proud of their cruel joke. Claire crossed her arms, smirking as if she had won some unspoken battle. Mia's hands trembled as she clutched the torn fabric of her dress. She felt a lump rise in her throat, but she refused to let the tears fall. This wasn't the first time she'd been targeted, and she knew it wouldn't be the last. Growing up in a town where she often felt out of place, Mia had learned to endure the stares, the whispers, and the casual cruelty. But this time was different. This time, she decided she wouldn't just endure. The bell rang, breaking the tension, and the crowd began to disperse. But as Mia walked away, her mind was racing with a plan, a way to stand up for herself without sinking to their level, something that would make them think twice before laughing at someone again. That evening, Mia sat on her bed, staring at the torn dress lying beside her. It had been a gift from her mom, a symbol of love and encouragement. Now, it felt like a reminder of the humiliation she faced, but as the hurt simmered, a spark of determination ignited within her. She grabbed her sketchbook, flipping through pages of designs she'd been working on for months. Mia had always dreamed of being a fashion designer, using clothing to tell stories and empower others. Suddenly, an idea struck her, a way to turn this moment of pain into something powerful. Meanwhile, Claire and her friends were still laughing about the incident, oblivious to the storm brewing. To them, it was just another joke, another day of showing their dominance over someone they considered different. But as the days passed, whispers started to circulate around school. Mia was working on something big. Even Mia's close friends didn't fully understand what she was planning. All they knew was that she was spending late nights sewing, sketching, and creating. The tension built with each passing day, as everyone waited to see what Mia would do. The bullies were confident nothing could shake them, but they were about to learn a lesson they'd never forget. The day of the big presentation arrived. The school was hosting its annual talent showcase, an event where students could display their skills and creativity. Mia had signed up at the last minute, something no one expected. Whispers rippled through the crowd as she walked into the auditorium, carrying a large garment bag. Claire and her friends watched from the back, smirking and whispering among themselves, convinced Mia was setting herself up for more embarrassment. As the show progressed, students performed their songs, dances, and art pieces. Mia waited backstage, her heart pounding. Her hands were steady, though, as she carefully adjusted the dress she'd been working on for days. It wasn't just any dress. It was a masterpiece, stitched together with bold patterns and vibrant colors that told a story of resilience and self-expression. She had taken the shredded remains of her torn dress and transformed them into something extraordinary. When her name was finally called, the room went silent. Mia stepped onto the stage, her head held high. The spotlight hit her, and the audience gasped. Every eye was on her, including Claire's, who was no longer smirking. The tension in the room was electric as everyone leaned forward, waiting to see what Mia would say or do next. As Mia stood under the spotlight, The murmurs in the audience grew louder. The dress she wore wasn't just beautiful, it was a statement. Each piece of fabric, every stitch, seemed to carry a message of strength and defiance. The vibrant patterns wove a story that spoke louder than words ever could. Mia took a deep breath, her voice clear and steady as she addressed the crowd. "This dress is made from the one that was torn," she began, her eyes scanning the room. "It's a reminder that even when people try to break you, you can rebuild yourself stronger. We all deserve to be treated with respect, no matter who we are or where we come from." Her words hung in the air, raw and unfiltered, as a hush fell over the auditorium. But then, just as the applause began to build, a voice cut through the silence. It was Claire. She stood up from her seat, her face flushed, and shouted, "Don't act like some hero. You're just trying to make everyone feel sorry for you." Gasps rippled through the crowd, and the tension skyrocketed. Mia didn't flinch. Instead, she stepped forward, her confidence unwavering. What came next would shake not just Claire, but everyone in that room to their core. The room was charged with anticipation as Claire's outburst echoed through the auditorium. Mia turned to face her, the spotlight still fixed on her. "I'm not here for pity," Mia said, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I'm here to remind everyone, including you, that kindness is a choice, and so is cruelty." The crowd fell silent, eyes darting between Mia and Claire. Before Claire could retort, Mia gestured toward the back of the stage. A curtain lifted, revealing a line of mannequins dressed in outfits Mia had created. Each piece was made from recycled or discarded fabrics, just like her dress. But the most shocking detail: one of the outfits was inspired by something Claire had worn, a sharp but unmistakable nod to her signature style. Mia continued, "I didn't just make these to tell my story. I made them to show that even the parts we think are ruined can become something meaningful, including people." The message hit its mark. Claire's expression shifted, her bravado fading. She sank back into her seat, the weight of Mia's words and actions sinking in. As the audience erupted into applause, tears welled up in Mia's eyes. But just as she thought the moment was over, the principal stepped onto the stage. "Mia," she said, her voice filled with pride, "you've done something extraordinary today, and I think it's time the whole school follows your lead." The announcement of a new kindness initiative, one inspired by Mia's bravery, was the unexpected twist no one saw coming. The bullies hadn't just lost their power, they were now part of a school transformed by one girl's courage. As the applause faded, Mia felt a wave of relief wash over her. For the first time, she wasn't just enduring the challenges thrown her way, she had reclaimed her voice and used it to inspire change. Over the following days, the school buzzed with conversation about the showcase. Students who had never spoken to Mia before approached her, praising her courage and creativity. Even teachers joined in, commending her for turning a painful experience into something so impactful. Claire, meanwhile, stayed quiet. The confidence she once used to intimidate others seemed to have disappeared. One afternoon, she approached Mia by the lockers. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Then, with an awkward but sincere tone, Claire muttered, "I'm sorry." Mia nodded, offering a small but genuine smile. It wasn't forgiveness, not yet, but it was a start. The kindness initiative soon became a defining part of the school, fostering a more inclusive and supportive environment. Mia's story became a reminder that strength isn't just in standing up for yourself, but in showing others a better way forward. Mia continued, "I didn't just make these to tell my story. I made them to show that even the parts we think are ruined can become something meaningful, including people." The message hit its mark. Claire's expression shifted, her bravado fading. She sank back into her seat, the weight of Mia's words and actions sinking in. As the audience erupted into applause, tears welled up in Mia's eyes. But just as she thought the moment was over, the principal stepped onto the stage. "Mia," she said, her voice filled with pride, "you've done something extraordinary today, And I think it's time the whole school follows your lead. The announcement of a new kindness initiative, one inspired by Mia's bravery, was the unexpected twist no one saw coming. The bullies hadn't just lost their power, they were now part of a school transformed by one girl's courage.